And now,
breaking news.
Ahoy, the news.
News
from the Weird
Wire.
news from the Weird Wire. Crazy. Somebody's on Santa's summer nice list. A ring lost at a Christmas tree farm in 2010 has finally been found and returned to its owner 15 years later. Wayne Corprew of Roanoke, Virginia, tells WDBJ that he was cutting down a tree for Christmas at Joe's Trees in Newport, Virginia, back in 2010, when he realized his prized ring was no longer on his finger. I went back up to where I dragged the tree to search there, but it wasn't there, Corprew says. So I went back to the truck, couldn't find it there, so it was officially missing. The next day I came back and brought a metal detector. There was snow on the ground, and I spent all day the next day looking for it, and nothing. Fast forward to 2025, when the farm's owners, Darren Gilreath and Samantha Gilreath, stumbled upon the ring while planting corn. Well, all the trees are gone, so let's plant corn. I'm walking through the rows, and I see the wedding band lying on top of the ground, Samantha says. I said, that looks like a wedding band. So I reached down and picked it up, and sure enough, it was this nice little gold band that was just lying in the dirt. When Darren called up Corprew to tell the good news, he couldn't believe it. When I saw Joe's Trees come up, of course, I had no idea. Then Darren asked me, and I described the ring to him, and he said, yep, we found it. That's crazy, 15 years later.
Well, my initial cartoon bubble was that the tree farm had this Post-it note sitting next to the phone with his phone number for 15 years. But it appears as if they know each other.
Yeah. That's crazy. Well, and apparently it's not a Christmas tree farm anymore. Now they planted corn. So they're really lucky. That popped up.
Strange.
Mm-hmm. When you think of a turkey trot, you probably don't imagine being chased by a turkey. Nevertheless, that's the situation Staten Island man Noel Colin has found himself in after a wild turkey took up residence in his yard. Why so? Why is there a video of this?
There's a video of everything.
Shared with SILive.com, you can see Colin trying to get to his car as the uninvited feathered guest starts flapping its wing and making aggressive noises. Gave me a heart attack, Colin says. I'm usually never afraid with anything that happens in my life. I just go with the flow. But that was something that was just completely unexpected, and I was freaked out. Colin later spotted 11 eggs on the lawn, which he suspects led to the turkey's aggression. They're just scattered around. Probably wasn't a nest in the yard. Wild turkeys just walk around dropping eggs in there.
You mistake me for someone who knows that?
In the meantime, Colin's situation to his turkey problem is to keep distance. Now, when I see a turkey, I cross the street. I walk across the street, he says. Now he's going to have more turkeys in his yard. Shoo away. Our final story today. One of the reasons I don't ride roller coasters. Life is a lot like a roller coaster. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, and sometimes you're just stuck. Riders of the newly unveiled Siren's Curse roller coaster at Ohio's Cedar Point found themselves in the third situation on Saturday. As the Akron Beacon Journal reports, they were left stranded at the top of the ride. The stoppage occurred as the cars had reached the signature Siren's Curse tilt section. What? In which riders climb up a 160-foot tall hill, then they tip over to move to a lower set of tracks.
Sounds like a horrific idea.
The riders were stuck in that position for about 10 minutes, and the ride was closed for about 25. They unplugged it, and they plugged it back in. Usually that only takes 5 minutes with the computer. That's a big computer running the Siren's Curse tilt section. The coaster's safety system performed as designed. The ride was restarted, and guests continued their ride. A Cedar Point spokesperson said Siren's Curse reopened shortly after, and all guests exited the ride safely. I wonder how many
I'm
went back
alarmed
on.
at the tilt section
Right.
in which the riders climb up 160 feet and then tip over and move to a lower set of tracks.
Tip over, is that like rollover, or they just tip?
I don't want to know.
Right.
I'm not riding that thing.
I heard that thing get stuck. I ain't riding on that. That was quite, I'm sure they had quite a story.
And it does sound like they unplugged it.
Right? Waited 5 minutes, plug it back in. Hit the restart button.
It's crazy.
That's news from the Weird Wire.